Hey everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube video. As you can see, this channel is still very much a work in progress, and I like to think that it always will be. So my intention for this channel is to make it primarily about my weightlifting and adjacent fitness pursuits. The content is pretty unserious for the most part. The idea is to develop a modest aesthetic build while having some semblance of a weightlifter's athleticism. Since starting the sport as a hobby, I've come across countless elite-level weightlifting, mostly online from reels and shorts. I really wish I got into the sport sooner, but unfortunately, I'm coming in late to the game. Going down the rabbit hole of weightlifting has been a completely eye-opening experience for me, especially seeing all the hardworking athletes showcase their technique with a mix of grace and power. I like to think that maybe some of these lifts can get others to give it a try, as it did with me. Now, I'm very doubtful about my ability to offer high-level lifts, but I am optimistic about improving slowly over time. And if nothing else, we can just be here for the vibes. Anyway, let's talk about the video now. So you may have noticed for the past few seconds that I do most of my foam rolling and self-massage at home. That's because I don't really like rolling around on the gym floor. It's a public space and I've seen people step into all kinds of questionable fluids. Not a fan of that. So the plan today is to first go through an actual warm-up in the gym. After that, I'm gonna work my way up to cleaning a small PR. I think I'll do some clean and jerks first, and then hopefully do some PR doubles on the clean. I haven't trained my jerks in a while or consistently enough to be confident about also attempting a PR on that lift. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so this is the bike room, and this is pretty much how I begin 90% of my warm-ups. I like to go on the bicycle and just try to cycle for about 5 or 7 minutes. The idea is to get some blood flowing and get the synovial fluids running around my knees and my joints just before I hit the warm-ups on the platform. Before starting any of my lifts, I usually like to do a couple sets of front foot elevated split squats. I do try my best to get my hamstrings to touch my calves whenever I can. After that, I like to get to the barbell and do a couple of good mornings to dynamically stretch my hamstrings and activate the glutes. I don't have a name for these, but I like how they feel on my wrists and my shoulders, so I do them in preparation for any of the upcoming overhead positions. Because I'm doing cleans, I like to get into this rack position here and kind of just spread my arms out a little bit wider than usual and try and drive my elbows up while gripping the bar as tightly as I can. I do them from the front and from the back as well. Here I'll go down into a full depth squat and bring the barbell on top of my quadriceps just above the knee. I like to put a bit of pressure on my ankle joints here and move around just a bit to get a bit of mobility in. This is where my lifts actually start. I don't put any weights on just yet. I just like to work with the bar first because I want to get a feel for the bar path and how my body is reacting to the moves I want to do. One of the goals for today, aside from a new PR, is to do the cleans with my foot staying on the ground as long as possible. I don't really want to make too big of a jump in my feet. I want to stay connected to the ground, so I feel more of that push off and that full extension when the time comes. Here we have my first working sets at 70 kilos or 155 pounds, minus this slight slip up right here. I am happy with how my feet are moving. Looking back at this though, I do wish I brought that bar up just a little bit higher, closer to my hip crease, right after the second pull. Now, even though I've power cleaned more than this before, for some reason, 74 kilograms or 165 pounds is the weight at which I start to struggle with, especially my hands and my grip. I can really feel the weight during each pull when I do this weight. You may have noticed by now that whenever I need to brace myself for a lift or whenever I'm catching the bar, I tend to make a very audible inhale. That's because I had a bad habit before of not breathing properly, and it was causing me to get lightheaded and sometimes nearly passing out. Yay! I did it. So that was it pretty much. That was what I was trying to go for. I didn't want to go for a jerk because I haven't trained that in a while, and I didn't want to risk anything today. I decided to go for only one clean this time rather than doubles because I was feeling pretty gassed after that last set. On this set, I went for doubles because after my one clean in the previous set, I took a minute longer than normal when resting, so I feel okay doing doubles here. Normally I do some kind of squats after my main lifts, but today I opted for a clean deadlift, which is different from a normal deadlift in that this style mimics the first pull of the clean. Sometimes I'll do some push presses after my main lifts, and that's because I find that they help with training the jerk if I don't want to work on the jerk directly. Last year I was able to do one rep at 155 pounds. This year I was able to do triples at 150 pounds or 68 kilograms, which I'm satisfied for now. Next up, I'm working on some behind the neck presses. Now, I find a lot of people tend to avoid this exercise, but I think if you work on your mobility and work on going up in weight slowly, it can be quite beneficial for your shoulders overall. Now on to some incline dumbbell presses. I find these to be optional. I don't need to do these specifically to benefit my lifts. However, I do like to include them in purely for aesthetic reasons. I think personally my upper pectorals need a bit of work, which I then follow up with some dumbbell lateral raises. I usually go for 20 reps for sets of 3, and I like to include these in closer to the end of my workout so that I can get a bit of pump towards my side delts. The GHD machine, or the glute ham developer machine, is an exercise I do quite consistently alongside my lifts, and that's because I like to strengthen my lower back and hamstrings as much as I can afterwards. After all, if you look at the lifts from earlier and hopefully in the future, you'll notice there's a lot of aggressive extension involved, and that can put a strain on the lower back. So one way to stay safe is to get stronger in the lower back with this machine. And finally, I like to end my training sessions with some hanging knee raises. That's because I like the stretch that I get from hanging, and I also like to bring my knees to my chest so that I get a bit of a curve down towards my lower back for that extra stretch. And that is all for today. I appreciate you hanging around this long. I hope to upload some more videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much.